There's like 4 like really hot people coming on right after me, so like just bear with me. I think it's gonna be good. But I think other than nerves, I'm feeling like in a good place right now in like a post-midterms way. Because it's like once you kind of surmount the crest of the wave, you kind of get to like rediscover the joys of living. Because prior to that, you're kind of like you're inundated with all the work, so you kind of have to become like really solipsistic, really like self-centered and like buckled down, like in the grind. And then when you kind of emerge, it's like your tunnel vision kind of widens, or like, and you realize that, you know, there's more to life than like the basic physical needs that you've been neglecting. And you're like, I have a family. I have parents and brothers that I like haven't called on the phone in a while. And I like miss them. Like right now, I'm really missing my little brother Sam. He's like kind of a pooper, but like I really miss him. And like I want to tell you all a story about him. But before I do that, I want to like incorporate some like audience participation. So I want to ask you all a question. Does anyone here have a hero? And if so, like, who are your heroes? Like, can someone like shout it off? Like,
Ryu, my father. Kevin Burnett, Trace Tracy, Ryan Boylan, Rihanna.
I think those are all. Thank you for sharing with me. I wanted to talk about heroes because, well, I feel kind of like cynical about the idea of putting someone up on a pedestal. But I mean, I kind of have a lot of feelings about it. But first, I wanted to tell you a story about the last time I like really hung out one-on-one with my little brother Sam and met his hero. And his name is Mr. Wilson of Mr. Wilson's Meat Store in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So the last time I really hung out with my brother one-on-one. You know, we were staying at my grandparents' house over the weekend, and he was really edgy. He was really edgy because he'd just gotten kicked out of summer school. You see, the problem was, my brother Sam, he's in summer school with all these kids, and he has this arch nemesis named Henry Jimerson. And he's like this really like Machiavellian little asshole. He gets all the kids together, and he does this like devastating power play. It's movie day. It's movie day over at summer school, at my brother's summer school. And there are 2 movie choices. One of them is Robots, and the other is The Music Man. And Henry Jimerson like utilizes his political capital to get all the kids to want to watch The Music Man. And Sam really wants to watch Robots. Like I feel him on that, you know. And but they end up watching The Music Man. His popularity wins. And so Sam kind of does the natural thing that Sam will do, which is he kind of like yells throughout the movie. He's like, "Boo! Hiss! This fucking sucks!" And so his teachers kick him out of summer school, and they're like, "Please don't come back." And they call my parents, and they're like, "Can you like work on like certain like behavioral issues with your child?" And they're like, yeah. So all of Needleman Family Conference, we get together. We're at my grandparents' house, and we're like, we need to discuss this Robots versus Music Man debacle. And we all kind of look at each other. My parents and I just like, we're like, yeah, like normally we want to like enforce these disciplinary things. Like Robots is a better movie. And like we would probably do the same thing. Like, not if we were ourselves, because you know there's like certain norms that like adults have to like abide by. But like we're gonna give him another chance. And you know he's feeling really bummed out, so we figured why not take him to Mr. Wilson's Meat Store. Mr. Wilson's Meat Store in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Cheer him up. So my brother loves these meat sticks from Mr. Wilson's Meat Store. They're kind of like Slim Jims, but they're more like local Slim Jims. They're like Slim Jims, but you know, with like a community bent. And they're made in-house in Mr. Wilson's Meat Store in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And they're, you know, it's just like a meat stick. Like you don't have to refrigerate it. It once was alive, like it's fine. And, so I'm driving him to Kenosha from Lyons, Wisconsin, which is where my grandparents live. And it's like kind of by civilization, but kind of like surrounded by like a lack of stimulus. Like you just like, you're driving and you're like in highway territory and like corn territory, and there's so much corn. Waves and waves and waves of corn all around you. And you're like, God damn it, like how would I keep time if I lived here? And I came up with 3 different ways. And I was like, I lived in like one of these towns where like nothing ever happened except for like starch all around me. It would be like the changing colors of the sky, like the hopeful promise of Monday Night Football or Jesus. So we get to Mr. Wilson's meat store, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and we step inside. My brother's like super jazzed because he's super territorial about his meat sticks, like super game to like eat a lot of processed meat products. And he gets in the store and he's off like a shot, like little like meat crazed pinball, just all over the store. There's like rump roast. He's like, oh boy. There's these toothpicks. He takes a toothpick, dips it into this like weird sample vat filled with like different hot dogs and like weird liquid. And he like puts the meat in his mouth. And he uses the same toothpick like 4 more times. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, Sam, do you think maybe like you can like use multiple toothpicks for sanitary reasons? And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, nothing. Oh, it's fine. And there's like 3 different Wisconsinites on either side of me, and they're like all doing really well, just pretending not to pay attention. Like God bless them all for like letting these like sanitary issues just kind of fly. So we find some meat sticks, and we head over to the counter, and Sam's still really keyed up. And suddenly, from the shadows, a mysterious figure from the meat storage room. It's like, can it be? Oh yes, it's Mr. Wilson, from Mr. Wilson's meat shop in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And Sam, who was previously really junky, gets really quiet and like hides behind my dress. And there's like this weird change in him that I've never really seen before. And I'm like, wow, is Sam like reverent? Is he respectful? Like, I feel like whenever my brother gets in fights with my dad, he's like very quick to be like, shut up, Baldy. So like he's not into authority. He's like not into authority. This is like the only time I've ever seen him like really respect someone for like more than like a 3-second period. And it's just like, hot damn, you know? So we head over to the cash register, and I approach Mr. Wilson, and I tell you, I can't really remember what he looks like, but I'm sure he looked kind. I'm sure he had kind eyes. And I go up to him and I go, you know, hey, Mr. Wilson, you know, my brother like really loves the work that you do. Like either at Mr. Wilson's meat shop, I mean you're at like your meat shop. Like we really respect what you do here, and like we're here all the time. Like we're always getting your meat sticks. Like and he's like, yeah, oh wow, that's great. In like a really amicable way that only Mr. Wilson, I'm sure, could have. And so Sam and I leave the meat store, Mr. Wilson's meat store in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and we get back into my mom's Volvo, and he's like, and my brother's really pissed at me. He's like really pissed. He's like, Melissa, why did you embarrass me like that in front of Mr. Wilson? And like, Sam and I are splitting our spicy jalapeno meat sticks on the way home. And I'm like, contemplatively chewing as I drive. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, you know, some people's heroes are young. Like, my grandma's hero is probably Domar. And my brother Sam's hero is Mr. Wilson of Mr. Wilson's meat shop in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And like, there's something really beautiful and like really like fucking elegant about that. I think that's like splendid. Like having like a hero like right in your backyard. Like Mr. Wilson is like actualized. I like got the feeling. I was like, he knows what he wants to do, and it's to provide bomb-ass meat products to like the general public. And like, I just think that's special, you know? I think that when I like formulate the concept of heroes, like I would want my hero to be like a Mr. Wilson type hero. Because I feel like it's really hard to have heroes when like you're told to have them, but then like also to have critical thinking skills and also to have like a Google search bar, and like people are problematic and like morality is hard sometimes for some people. And like, I don't know, like you can like be really into pop punk and then you're like, oh no, like all my favorite singers are problematic faves. Or like you can be on Facebook, you know, like woo, like here I am on the feed and there's that Vice article about how John Lennon's apparently an asshole, and you're like, I don't know what to do. You know, it's hard. It's hard. But you know, it's like I get the feeling like Mr. Wilson. I'm like, Mr. Wilson's never letting anyone down. And like, I guess I'm kind of cynical because I have to confess, my school was the #2 best fundraiser for the Invisible Children campaign. And I raised a lot of money for it, selling blueberry muffins before reading that article about whatever he did in the street that day. Mr. Wilson's never gonna let us down. He's keeping the spirit of positivity alive, and thank you.
Quite a ways away. When he was around 8 years old, he was playing a board game with his sister and he got sucked in. But luckily, he just recently got out and he has to finish the game after this to go back to his timeline. But in the meantime, please welcome to the stage, Peter.
That was my set. I practiced with Melissa right before the show, and she just said everything I was gonna say. Melissa, what? The blueberry muffin? Okay, it wasn't, but I wish it was. That was a great set, Melissa. This is actually my first time doing stand-up, too. Alright, it's not. I just said that. I don't know why. I'm just nervous. I've done stand-up a couple of times, and I kind of forget what I've said to whom and what I've said where. So I want to do this like MTV tonight, and if you hear something you've already heard, I want you to just shout, "Next!" I will go back to the next bus, and I'll just think of something new, and I'll come back out here, okay? Good. Yeah, I've done stand-up a couple of times. There's a couple of things I like to talk about. I've talked about my dead dad 3 times, but now I'm over it! I did it! Art saves. One of my other tropes... I'm sorry. Hello? Okay. One of my other tropes is talking about my mom, because she's one of my favorite people in the world. I love her more than anything, but sometimes I just wanna... just right in the throat. And she'd be okay, but she wouldn't talk for a day. Everyone can do it, and you actually save time, because you're doing multiple things at once. And you're good at all of them. What study was that? What study was that? Multitasking doesn't work, Peter. Look at me. Don't multitask. It doesn't work. You can't do any of the things. You focus. Peter, please. And the last one, my personal favorite. Mom, I was talking to my friend the other day. Mom. I was talking to my friend the other day, and they told me they didn't want to date me, and it wasn't because I wasn't standing up straight. It was just because they didn't like my face, or my body, or me. It wasn't my posture, Mom. It was me. They didn't like me. And she's like, were you slouching over? You are a beautiful boy, Peter. You just need to stand up straight. Stop slouching over. I hate it. I love her. She's been telling me this since I was a kid, and I actually was thinking about it the other day, and I remember what I would ask my mom as a kid all the time. I would just say, "Mom, I'm doing too many chores, I need some me time." And I was 10, she was like, "Okay, fine." Okay. And I remember what I was doing, and before any of you even think that I was masturbating, I I wasn't. I was 10, so don't think about that. Let me just say right now, while I'm on the subject, I don't masturbate. I make love to myself once a week. I light candles, and I don't watch porn. That's for dogs. I think about my lover kissing me under a waterfall, and I massage myself in my erogenous zones. So, remember that as I continue. I was 10 years old and I was just begging Mom. I'd say, Mom, please, I need me time. She'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go do my taxes or whatever. And I would just lie in my bed, completely supine, and I would stare at the ceiling, and I would just stare at the ceiling for hours. Maybe it was minutes, I was 10, it felt like hours. I wasn't imagining anything, I wasn't daydreaming, I was... Even talking about it really calms me down. That's what I would do. And I wonder when people talk about like returning to a childlike state, what are they talking about? Are they talking about playing Game Boy? Are they talking about car trips? Or are they like me, and childhood to them means staring at the ceiling, completely still in your bed, for minutes and minutes and minutes. Those were better times, but unfortunately now, I am enrolled in a college. And I'm not good at it, but one thing that's great about my mom is she's not traditionally intelligent. She has a high EQ, she is perceptive, well-read, but she tells me this story. I'm coming home from one of my first winter breaks in college. I'm like, Mom, it was so hard, everyone's so smart, I don't get it at all, I really tried. And she says, Peter, let me tell you a story. When I went to Emory University, I was a pre-med. And I hadn't done a lick of calculus in high school. And Peter, I got D's. D's. And I went home to my father, your grandfather, and I said, oh, Petru, I can't be a doctor. And he said to me, yeah, we know. You've never taken calculus. The doctor thing was your idea. Which is good, because every time I come home, she's always just so impressed about anything I've learned in college, which is some things. I explained to her opportunity cost really quickly. I was like, Mom, your time is money, you could use it to make money, so you can put a money amount on your time, and it's opportunity cost. And she's just, wow. Peter, what you're learning over there? I was worried. I didn't want to send you so far. But obviously, I made the right decision. What you're learning over there, opportunity cost. If you would just stand up straight. Not slouch, put your chest up. If you could just stand up straight. Then you would just... Thank you very much.
The next performer is a bit of an academic. He's a psych professor at Boston Community College, but he's doing good work. He's helping out this janitor who solves math problems at Harvard. And nobody knows who he is, but he's going to help him realize his full potential. Please give it up for Mr. Colin Lipinski.
I'm an associate professor. How you guys doing tonight? Thanks for sticking around for this shit. How you guys doing? Really good?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
That's good. Yourself? That's great. Okay. That's a great mess. What do you do?
It's a great question.
Like professionally?
Professionally, I work in the admissions office.
interacted with him before. A while ago. It's great. You good at it? What do you do? Yeah,
I work at a nonprofit.
that's so cool. What do you do?
Yes, I study.
You study?
Yeah.
Me too. That's so cool. Me too, I feel it. Where do you study?
Economics.
I study linguistics, economics, speech. What do you do? You like folk music? Lame. Security. What do you do?
Peter's mom.
What? Lame. I know Peter's mom. You know Tina. Tina. I bet you're great. What do you do? I got a piercing. How do you like it? That's cool. You excited for Halloween? No? Are you? How excited? That's so excited. What are you gonna be? Professional MTG, Magic the Gathering player. Incredible. What do you wear for that? You're gonna be. That's that kind of shit we want to see in school. You just bees it. You become. You embody. You actualize. How have you guys enjoyed the crowd work session of this? So, you guys see me okay? You guys can. There's more people over here anyways. This is the loyal section. They paid more. So, let's start with the story. I was in Costco with my mom recently. Because, you know, right what you know, so. We were in the vitamin section, my favorite section. And she points to these Nicoderm patches. And she says, "Carl, we should get you a bunch of these." Because Nicoderm patches are supposed to help you be at less risk for Parkinson's disease. Which runs through my family. So, that makes sense, I guess. And it checks out. But through this, I learned the bombshell revelation that for a period of like 6 months, my mom would just hang out with Nicoderm patches. She's not a smoker. She would just hang out with Nicoderm patches and feel really sick for the express purpose of not getting Parkinson's 20 years down the road. I'm just throwing that idea out for you. You can take it or not. Story 2. This is the beginning of the summer. Can you guys believe summer's over? Lit. Beginning of the summer. I'm in Maine, my aunt's house. I decide to take this one day off. I haven't started my internship yet. I'm just gonna go out into the woods, into Mount Agrimenticus State Park, and just enjoy it. Now, Mount Agrimenticus, do you guys know what a mountain is? It's not a mountain. It's 2 hills, like a rock on top. But I decided it's my day. I did this once when I was a kid. This is like my home. I practically know this place. I built it. So I'm out there walking. I see a turtle. What? I saw a snake skin. It's like snake graffiti. He was there, you know? I see a bunch of ants. It sounds cool. That's regular. And I'm following the trail. It's a good, nice day. But then it starts to get dark. Because that's how days work. And, you know, it's about, we're approaching dusk. It's about 16-degree solar. No sign. So naturally, I start to freak out. Because I'm a little far out on the trail. But I'm like, okay, retrace your steps, Hansel and Gretel. Follow the dragonfly signs. I see one dragonfly sign. Oh, I remember this. That was the rock. Another one. That's the bridge. I don't see another fucking dragonfly sign. I don't see any signs. I start seeing owl signs. I've never seen this before. I pull out my phone. There's GPS. I'm not on the map. I'm just like moving constantly. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't have anything in my bag. I have an Nalgene, half empty. I have a notepad. I have Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5. This moment. I'm wearing slip-ons, okay? This is not... So I do what any rational person would do. I recognize the trail that I'm on. I look at the sun. I guesstimate and I sprint through the woods to what looks like another trail. And I get to another place, and I've definitely been there before, but it's like a Twilight Zone effect. I don't know where the fuck I am still. Dusk is soon becoming dark. I'm about to shit my pants. My Nalgene is almost out of water. So I called the cops. Ogunquit PD. And Bob at Ogunquit PD was gonna take care of everything for me tonight. Get you out of the woods calling, don't you worry. You're up on Mount A, I know you're lost up there, I know it's scary, I know it's gonna be dark, but you're fine. We'll get you back to the parking lot where you parked earlier today. You're fine. But the problem is Bob doesn't really know the trails that well. So he has to call up his friend, Rich. So I currently have 2 officials of the state of Maine helping me get out of the woods. 21-year-old Rich was very helpful, but the most helpful thing was the fact that there was a cell tower on top of the very mountain I was on. So they could track me via GPS with an overlay of the trails. So I got turn by turn on this hiking path. Bob was like, you see a brook down there? Okay, you're gonna want to go towards the brook. Okay, there's gonna be a stone fence on your left. All right, and you're gonna take a turn. Colin, we're gonna get you back home. I'm just puffing to be out of this moment as quickly as possible. This is the most embarrassing thing in my life. I'm finally like, I can see the parking lot. So I'm like, okay, Bob, this is great. Like, I'm good to go. Just, thank you very much. He's like, no problem, I gotta make sure you get home. Like, I know, right? These Mainers. You know. So I hang up, and I call him back 15 minutes. 911, I call back 911. Bob picks up, he's like, hello, this is 911. What's your emergency? I'm like, hey, Bob. I'm back at the car. Are you back at the car? Have a good day, Colin. So glad we can help you out today. Maybe anything else? Any restaurant recommendations? You hit down for long? Story 2 done. What do you do?
I sell bleach.
That's dope. What do you do? Ah! I didn't help you guys when I yelled to the mic. Story 3. This is summertime. Summer of love. Heat. Passion. I meet someone on Tinder. Am I right, ladies? And gentlemen? So we went on a few dates, and they're not good dates. But me and this person, it's just like we have this hypnotic lack of chemistry. And it's just incredible. And so I just keep planning things with this person because we have nothing in common. It was just dead air. Silence the entire time. We would talk about the weather 3-4 times in a row. With 2-minute intervals. I learned about the weather this summer. The best day we had was she came over to my apartment with no air conditioning. Like she didn't have it, I didn't have it in my apartment. And we hung out. Literally we just sat. Talked about what we could do that night. It was like a Tuesday. And we ended up taking individual naps in 2 separate parts of the living room for 45 minutes. And then she left. But she didn't just get up and go like either of us would have been okay with happening. She felt the need to invent a story. So she looks at her phone, which I don't know why this has anything to do with the fact that she thinks that she left a candle going, a citronella candle at her house, and she has to go back because she doesn't want her house to catch on fire and kill her 2 cats. And she makes it this elaborate story, and like, I make up stories. I can tell. I just wanted to tell her so badly, you don't need to do this. I understand the situation. We have nothing. But I played along because it's so much fun. Oh man! Was it a big candle? Was it still papers? Oh! Are they big cats? Are they knocking over? Are they particularly rambunctious? So she left. Went on 2 more solid dates. A lot about body language. I miss you guys. I miss you.
Thanks everybody. Our next performer is a blue genie, Dan Ackerman.
How's everybody doing? Let's applause all these people. That was amazing. So one more after me. Do you guys ever do this? Does this ever happen when you mix up 2 words in a sentence that you don't want to do? Like, you tell someone, you're like, oh, could you put the bag in the car? You want to say that, but you say like, could you put the car in the bag? Like,
Yeah.
car's not as too good. I did that recently. I wanted to say, I'm going to be the gay Malcolm X. And I ended up saying, I'm going to be the black Neil Patrick Harris. Can I see a show of hands tonight? How many people in the audience tonight think that America is ready to kill Neil Patrick Harris? Can we see? I don't think so. I don't think you're ready. Does this work? Great. I've been shopping it around, and I think the gay community is ready to kill Neil Patrick Harris. I think the theater community is ready to kill Neil Patrick Harris. I think the talk show circuit is ready to exile him at least. And I just don't think America is ready. I think that you guys can have him. I'm happy for straight America to take Neil Patrick Harris. He's not someone I want, but I do think there has to be some repayments. I think there should be some kind of compensation for the things that gay people have contributed, that straight people have taken, and they have bastardized, and they have made their own. I'm thinking not just of Neil Patrick Harris, I'm thinking of a cappella. I'm thinking of Lady Gaga. I'm thinking of dating apps, honestly, Colin. You guys like Tinder? You like Tinder? You think it's a safe, fun thing? That's awesome. That's great. Yeah? Tinder is, I get it. Like, it's cleaner, it's got more distance than Grindr. You get to decide who talks to you, that's awesome. Like, Tinder is Grindr gentrified, you guys. That's awesome. That's all I like is something in return, alright? We'll take Adele. We'll be happy with that. We're ready for that. You know who I think the nation is ready to exile at least, though, is I think Steven Spielberg. I think really you just gotta see one of those movies and realize it's bad for the whole thing to come crashing down. For me, that was Jurassic Park, honestly. You watch it again, and yeah, alright, fine. Yeah, you watch it again, it's not a great movie. It did 2 things that I really appreciate, though. It introduced me to dinosaurs, and it introduced me and a whole generation to Jeff Goldblum. And I think that, because who would have suspected? What parent is going to think, my child should know about Jeff Goldblum at this age? You know, no one, parents forget, though. They think, oh, well, my kid doesn't know about Jeff Goldblum. Why would they want to know about Jeff Goldblum? But they don't understand, Jeff Goldblum is like sex, you know? You don't have to know what Jeff Goldblum is to desperately want Jeff Goldblum. There's a point, and it's not for everyone, it's an aesthetic thing, I get it. But there's a point in some people's lives where there's just this wanting happening. There's just sort of this empty place in your life, and like it's fine if it doesn't get filled, but you just feel like you need it. You have these weird dreams. You just imagine something. You can't put a name to it exactly, and then you just see this weird bug-eyed guy explaining chaos theory, and it all fits. It just all falls into place. Yeah. I do think I think that people should be angrier at people like Steven Spielberg. Not just Steven Spielberg, but like maybe if we exiled him, maybe there wouldn't be a Men in Black 4. Like maybe people will think next time. I just think that people boycott movies like Ender's Game or Stonewall for political reasons. They feel like they have enough respect for their political beliefs and their political sensibility that they can boycott a movie, that they can take action against it. I just wish people would do that. I wish people would give that much respect to their aesthetic sensibilities. I wish someone would throw themselves in front of the camera next time there's a Jurassic Park remake. I wish that someone would chain herself to the ruby shoes in the Smithsonian until there are promises that there will be no more Non-The Wiz remakes. I wish I could fight these wars on my own, but there are some that just can't be won. This, for example. If there are infinite universes, where's the one where this is cool? I'd be a loser in that world. I'd be happy to be a loser poser who's doing what everyone else is doing. If I could just wear this, and people think it's cool. That's all I want from you guys. Thank you.
Certainly not least is Jenny Kara.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for staying for like the hour and a half of comedy tonight. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. So who here takes the 171 like semi-regularly? Okay. I did not take it today. Today I had a job interview, and Can you hear me? Can you hear me when I speak normally?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna speak normally. I know. Okay, so today I had a job interview downtown, and I was feeling so good. I was downtown in Chicago before 9 a.m., and I was like, I'm a goddess, I'm a queen, and I'm gonna walk through the IOP today, not take the bus. So I'm walking. I have my jam, Rihanna SOS, playing in my head. I'm also strutting, which is like with a backpack kind of hard to do, but it looks something like this. What can happen if you do that is that your dress can get sucked into the backpack, that your entire ass is out, and you are wearing your neon pink underwear because you felt confident this morning. This walk, and I was just like, I was getting too big for my britches. I had to be told, and that's the thing about signs. I was raised in part by books and movies, and in books and movies, a sign is always a sign. If it's sunny, it's happy. If it's rainy, it's sad. But if there's lightning, it is Harry Potter. There's signs, facts about books and movies, and I was raised by these, so I believe that these were true for me as well. In middle school, they told us what gay was, and they told us that we wouldn't be able to know if we were gay until we got a little bit older. And I had already planned my wedding out. So for me, that wasn't going to work, so I needed to know, is it a bride or a groom? What's the situation? So I knew I had to figure it out via sign. So I go home, I open my computer, and I hit iTunes Shuffle. And I decide, if it's a male artist, I am straight. Female artist, I am gay. But it was a mixed group. So I would do this every single day, and I really wanted to sign, but after that first time, I knew I couldn't believe it. Even if the song was called Jenny, You're Gay, if it was sung by a man, I would have been confused. Just the rules. Now, by the time I got to high school, I had started actively chasing boys. And so I was on the volleyball team, and I would tell myself, if I serve the ball and it goes over the net, he's gonna like me, that's what my crush was. And if it doesn't go over the net, he's not going to. And in my high school gym, there was like a window to the lobby. You could like look into the lobby on top. And I just had this feeling that like my crushes would be there when I started over the So I would like, you'd see this like 14-year-old girl like, and it goes over and I look up, like I'm Joan of Arc, and I'm like, oh, and he's never there. There were not once there. And in the middle of the year, I read Pride and Prejudice, which I don't know if it's happened to any of the girls in the audience, but I was like, am I Lizzie Bennett? Is this about me? Like, I'm a brunette. I read. Like, but in the book, she kind of like, I don't know if you know what negging is. Like, she like negs this guy in a really effective way. Like, she's like bullying him until he likes her. He's a douchebag, and she sees that and she molds it. So I was like, all right, I have to find my douche to mold. Like, I need to play Darcy. I'm looking for this guy, and one day we're in Spanish class, and David is next to me, David. And we're sitting together as partners, and I say, all right, David, like, so what's your Facebook so we can talk? And he goes, Facebook is for conformists. And I was like, ooh. Like, I had found my Darcy, and I negged this guy hard. We had a lot of common interests, so I would hear his voice from across the band bus and be like, David's voice cracked. Like, I was just like, out to get this guy. I had given a sign. And the thing is, if you think about someone enough, anybody enough, you will fall in love with them. Because your time is valuable to you. That is a fact. I'm here to save lives. Like, that is a fact. But I haven't learned my lesson at all. I have one visa quarter at least, where I like fall in love with somebody because I think about them enough. And that's a scary fact. It makes my internal life very dramatic. But my friends don't really know that about me. I don't really show that side of myself. I keep it on an even keel. And that's why I have a very indulgent mother who I can call. And so I'll call my mom and I'll be like, Mom, do you ever feel like there's just no point? And she's like, oh man, can you text you back yet? I'm like, Mom, I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, running and running and running. I never get anywhere. And she's like, your bike chain broke? She understands that I have never had a real problem. But my mom is the only person I call on the phone, and that's because I truly believe that calling someone on the phone is more intimate than sex or saying I love you. The realest vulnerability that you can have with someone is just like calling them. Like, what a weird, archaic, fucked up thing to do. So I never call anybody else, and if I do, if I call you for some reason, the first words out of my mouth will always be, I'm so high right now. 10 times, because I want you to know that I would never do something like that in my right mind. I am blazed as fuck if I am calling you. If it's 9 a.m. or 10 p.m., I will still say the same thing. But apparently that's not a widely held opinion. There's this new song, Hotline Bling. It's about calls, in part. But I like it a lot because Drake, in a way, is kind of like saying, like, I left, and like in the absence that I left in your life, you built other things, and I'm offended by that. Like, he's really hurt, and he kind of tries to neg this girl. He's like, you need to stop wearing these clothes, having these friends, you need to be at home, like, worshiping a shrine to my dick, until I return to Toronto to be with you again. And I appreciate that. As someone who, like, really aspires to a Pride and Prejudice type romance, I appreciate that he's bringing negging onto like a more like wide cultural sphere, and I'm wondering why no one's talking about this. Like, why, like, he read Jane Austen and no one's discussing it. But I really like this because I would love to neg someone. Like, I feel like that's like the love story that I deserve, that I've wanted since I was 14. And I guess what I'm saying is, if you're a douchebag in the audience tonight, if you wear Axe body spray, if you have more than one polo, if you own a box set of Entourage, find me after the show, and I can fix you.